All right, continue now, Perek Yates. Let's try to finish Perek Yates. So once again, let's try to understand where we're holding this. Ava Musuteres, right? This, what we call this dormant, hidden, very absorbed inside love that we are discussing over here. So how does it work? Like, when does it come out? When does it like sprout out all of a sudden, make an appearance and come out over here, right? It's deep inside. It doesn't always come out. Sometimes all of a sudden it comes out, right? So let's make an example. We spoke about these people that all of a sudden when they're faced with some situation, they're willing to give up their life, right? So one second. During every Aveira, there's no love there. Everything's cold, everything's fine. They can do whatever they want. But the minute they're posed with like Yiddishkeit or your life, they're going to pick Yiddishkeit because that love seems to come out. How does it work that way? How does it work that it comes out then? And by the way, just in case you're wondering, like, is this really practical? Yes, it's very, very practical. There's a build-up that the Tanya is doing specifically for us. We're by the paragraph starting V'chein. That was introduction into this paragraph. V'chein, Harishayim or Poshe Yisrael, right? These Rishayim, these people that are Oisik, that are Shakua and Averis, Koidim Shabbaladei Nisayin L'Kadosh Hashem, before they get to an Nisayin, to Mekadosh Hashem, right? Which means at that time, that this love over there, everything is, calm. Ki bechinas ha-chochma, shebenevesh al-kis, im nitzois al-kus me'or, ein soid baruch hu melubash ba, hein bechinas golus. It's basically being banished. It's in exile, that love. Begufam benevesh ha-bahamis. Mitzad ha-klipa shebechol ha-smoli shebelei b'leches u'mosheles begufam. Right, beside golus ha-shkena kanal. At these Rishoyim, these people that are Poshe Yisrael, avada they have the love. They're a Yid. Every Yid has that love. But it's so far inside, it's so immersed inside that it's basically in Golus, and therefore it only comes out on special occasions. That's why this Ava that we know comes from the Nefesh Elikis, that it be Yisoidoi, it's Ratzon, it's Chefza, what it wants to, what its Metzias is, and what it wants is L'Davik B'Hashem, Chaya Chaim Baruch Hu B'Shem. What do we call it? Ava Musuteres. We call it the hidden love. It's hidden. It's there. Everyone has it. Whether you like it or not, you have it. It's just hidden. Ki hi musuteres u'mechusa b'levush sak de klipa. It's hidden and covered with this garment of the klipa, but Poshe Yisrael. Again, talking about these people that are Oisik and Averis. U'mimeno nirchas ben ruach shtos lachtoi. And from that, because it's covered, because it's so far hidden inside, that's why the Gemara says, the Gemara in Sotah Daf Gimel says, what does a person have an Aveira? How does he do an Aveira? The answer is, Nichnas by Ruach Shtus. How did it get there? Because the love that would normally prevent him from doing that Aveira is so deep immersed inside, he doesn't feel it. He's able to do the Aveiras. Like the Gemara says quite clearly over there, the Gemara says, Nichnas by Ruach Shtus. So the reason that the Ruach Shtus comes in is because the Ava is so musuteres, it's so hidden inside, Memele he's missing that thing. Ella. Shegolis has ele bechinas chochma ine ele bechinas hamishpach teshes memene benevesh kula lachyosa. In other words, it doesn't really spread and come out in a very live form. Where's the shorish? Where's the root? The root really is b'moichin, right? So to speak, in the brain, right? In the intellect. Right? So in Rishonim over here, that at the end of the day, it's a much lower sort of level on the left side of the heart, right? But the core, since, as we said, the chachma over here is still in the brain, so it's disconnected from where the heart is, and since there's a disconnect, that's the reason why we call it bechenes golus, because it's like, so to speak, it's been pushed aside. But actually, it's like sleeping. That's what it is. It's like being asleep. Kolzman, these people are being oisik in the taivas ha'olam, in all the pleasures in the world that the world is offering them to take. So that at the end of the day, there's a disconnect. And since the disconnect, it's like that love is, so to speak, sleeping at that moment. And since it's sleeping, it doesn't become awake unless something really stark awakens it. Which is why they're able to be busy with all the Averis, because the love that would normally prevent them is not so awake and energizing. But all of a sudden, when an Nesoyin comes in their etzem amunah, are you a Yid or are you not a Yid? What are you willing to do for your Yiddishkeit, all of a sudden, Shilamala Meladas, that's way above Das. V'noga never shebechinis chochma sheba. All of a sudden, it gets awakened. This love that's been sort of hiding, that's been sleeping within him, becomes awakened. It stands up against the Hashem. There is no explanation. You can ask this guy, do you have a reason that you were Moser Nefesh or life for Yiddishkeit? No. He doesn't even understand it because it doesn't make sense. That's why the Tanya said, it's Lamalam in Adas. It doesn't really make sense. He doesn't understand himself, Lamaisa, why it's that way. It's only when the Nesoyin comes, that's why it's on the level of the Moichin, not the Guf. Because he doesn't understand it. Right? It's only when the Ava is awakened, then it can cause that effect. The Seichel Musugboy, this Gabal Klipas V'Taivas Oilam Azeh, Beheter Be'issa Shehugu Behem, V'Limois Behem, V'Livcholai Hashem, L'Cholko L'Goyroloi, Limso L'Nafsha Gudush Moi. All of a sudden he's disgusted by anything that's against the Rabbeinu Shalom Chas v'Shalom, anything that's against Torah, Yiddishkeit, whatever, and he picks V'Livcholai. He chooses Hashem to that chelik, and he's willing to give over his nefesh to Gudush Shmoi. V'Avkei Klipas Kovolav Kol Yomov. Even in the Maisa, this guy, his taivas, his klipas, they're always overpowering over him. Right, and that's what we were saying. We had this previously as well. That when it comes to Rishoyim, right, they are, so to speak, in the steering wheel. They're in the driving seat. If all of a sudden comes their way an sign in Hashem Echad, Sheyesudasa Baharei Kodesh, right, which we know that Avada, that's like the root of everything. It's the root of Yiddishkeit. It's the root of who we are. He bechinas Chachma shebenefesh alikis. Everything else just falls by the wayside. Everything else gets nullified. Since at the end of the day, the Chokhmah is what brings the light, so all of a sudden that light is going to be spreading all over the place, so the bad klippas have no power anymore. Like it says in Yishai, Hashem, you spoiled of Choli. Uksiv, Kihimis Doinag Mipnei Eshe Vedu, Uksiv Horim Kadoinag Namasu. Vihine, Or Hashem Ein Sof Baruch Hu Amadobish Mochar Bosh Benebesh. This Or Hashem Ein Sof, right, which is dressed in the Chochmah of the Nefesh, Godel Va'osum Koicha Kolkach, it is such a great koyach. Legorish Velidchois Asitra Acho Vaklipos. And it has the ability, legorish, to divorce, to get rid of, to drive out, to push all the sitra achava klipos. That means that they won't even be able to chap his dibur maisa. So what he's saying over here is that the soul has multi layers, has a whole different types of layers within the soul. There's all different layers over here, right? We've got the intellect and the emotional, which is all the way in the deep core. Then we've got the superficial garments on the outside, which is machshava, dibur, maisa. We've spoken about them many, many times. Those on the outside. And the Tanya is saying a gavaldig yesod, that once you awake the chokhmah, it reaches not only the deep soul, but it also affects all the garments on the outside. Machshava, dibur, and maisa. Shel, as we continue in the Tanya, Shel emunas Hashem echad, tahainu lama b'nesoyin him sonafshay afidu shel elasu rak eza maisa neged levad neged emunas Hashem echad. Even it's something, just one thing. He's not going to bow to this avodah zarah. They tell him, listen, bow, chas v'sholom, this avodah zarah, or we're going to kill you. And it's going to be so powerful that it's going to prevent him from doing that. This is a guy that does every aveira in the book. This guy is no shaykhis to Yiddishkeit ba'etzem. That's what it says over here. You think in his heart, please, Hashem echad. Shema Yisrael. No shaykhis. This guy's no shaykhis. But all of a sudden you tell him to bow down to the idol or I'll kill you. Okay, kill me. What happened? Again, to speak about avodah zarah in yonim, alachtos Hashem al she'em piv v'libo sholim rak libo sholim be'emunas Hashem. At the end of the day, once the chokhmah, which is the brightest light in the world, spreads throughout the soul, all the klipas have no more power anymore. This is very important. This is what we're talking about, that the love, which all comes again, it's all based in the chokhmah. Once you awaken it up, you can't bear anything that's against the Rabbeinu Shalom which eventually leads to the yira, the reverence, the fear that we've spoken about. It's the ava that leads to the yira. So that's what he's saying over here. She ava hativis. Every Yid in Klal Yisrael has a natural ava. That in its essence, in its natural form, has a desperate need to go and be medabik, to cling to its form, to its originality, to its source, which is the Rabbeinu Shalom. He and that will lead him, that ava will lead him to this pachad, this natural pachad from doing anything that is on the other side, to hang in the tumah of avodah zorah chas v'shalom, which is neged emunas Hashem echad, even though he doesn't believe in anything anyway. Even his outer, spiritual clothing, unbelievable that a person has the ability through the chokhmah, right? Not the being of the das, through the chokhmah, to be able to awaken this love. And even if you have a guy that's so shakua, he's so involved in averis, he's betzem rasha, which is the lashon of the Tanya, he's able to awaken that chokhmah, that aura, that light, which will spread, and it will enable him not only to have the ava, which will lead also to the yira, which will enable him not to do those things which are against anything to do with Yiddishkeit, even though Betz, if he does every aver in the book. Okay, so you'll tell me, very nice, what's it going to do with us? Now what the Tanya is going to do, which we'll do Beis Hashem tomorrow, B'linei de Perek Chof, is how can we awaken it in a regular time? Okay, it's all very nice to awaken it when a person's getting an opportunity of bow down to the idol or die. But Baruch Hashem, we don't get those nisyonos. So how do we, on a regular, normal level, awaken that ava? Join us, Beis Hashem, tomorrow, Perek Chof.